Good morning. Andy Slawetsky, Patriot Pack rider, here today with George Gorman from the Jillian Fund. George is the founder of the Jillian Fund, a very popular charity in this imaging industry from which I am from. George, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. It's Friday. The sun seems to be coming out. Everybody's safe here. And I think we're starting to adapt to the new normal.
Excellent. Good to hear. You are in the New Jersey area. You're right in sort of the epicenter of this whole thing. So I'm glad to hear everybody's safe. I am in Western New York, and we actually do have sun right now, believe it or not. It's been the first time in a while we've seen it.
Yeah.
Nice to see. And normally I'm doing this interview in a blazer, but I thought today an interview with you would be great to put on my Patriot Pack uniform and my Jillian Fund shirt and hat and everything. I got my elephant back behind me.
I got my Jillian Fund shirt on here, and got the hat that you had given me.
Yes.
As part of the Patriot Pack in the back.
Perfect. Perfect. Good to see.
I'm wearing the colors.
Awesome. Me too. Me too. So I wanted to just, take some time, and I know the Jillian Fund is such an incredible organization, great charity that you started years ago. And I don't think we need to get too into exactly, but maybe just a quick overview of what the Jillian Fund does. And, maybe for some of my viewers who are not as familiar, why don't you just give us some background?
Sure. So the Jillian Fund was inspired by my daughter, Jillian, who passed away back in 2013 after 4 years of some pretty intensive treatment of 3 bone marrow transplants, a kidney transplant, and some very, very, difficult, challenging other circumstances because of those procedures, right? And it required an awful lot of encouragement, inspiration, just to get her through it. And I had been with Jillian over those 4 years with her at night. So I would lie on the couches there, or whatever they could give me, next to Jillian. And my being there really had an effect on her treatment, the doctors, and everybody that was putting her through these procedures. And I was just being a parent. I was doing what I thought every parent would do, and didn't have time to think of anything else other than the wellness of Jillian. But Jillian passed in 2013, and I looked back and I noticed a couple of things. One, her procedures were so long, over so many years, she started being an inspiration to everybody else. So that's where she said to me, Dad, I want to help whoever I can and help those in needs. I want to help other kids like me who are sick like me get through it. And her reputation, her inspiration grew sometimes to, different continents. People would be writing her letters. Of course, she'd be in the hospital and have the time to answer these letters, but they would range from very serious illnesses to, hey, I'm breaking up with my boyfriend. And she'd kind of give him a Dear Abby encouragement letter, to, hey, I don't know if I can get through this marathon. But she truly became an inspiration to reaching out to others and helping them whenever they can. After she passed, in honor of her, it became very apparent to me that those long nights were so important to me as a parent and so important to her as my daughter. I noticed that I was probably the only one who had the luxury of doing that, because I had this great support around me with all you folks in the industry, and my managers and the people that surround me now. The support was incredible. So I thought the best thing we could do in Jillian's honor is do everything to unite parents with children who require critical care and are in life-threatening situations. These kids are dying. 1 out of every 5 kids that is diagnosed with cancer will not survive. And I'm sure you've heard that from many different sources. So what do? We try and lighten the burden of that whole journey, that whole experience between parent and child, by helping them financially whenever we could, because it costs a lot of money getting to the hospital, getting from the hospital, and supporting a family. Some of these families are single parent families. Some have 5 other siblings at home. some don't have insurance. I mean, there's all sorts of dramatic situations that go along with a family. So that's the purpose of the fund, and that's what we do.
I've heard you say that about 1 million times by now, and I still get a chill every time. It's just it's an inspirational story. It's a tragic story, but what's come out of it has been just so incredible. And the keeping the lights on, and it really became apparent at one of the galas that I was at a few years ago when all those people came up on stage and told their stories individually about, and they were all different, and they were from all different classes and walks of life and backgrounds, and it's just it's very heartwarming what you've done out of all this. It's been an honor to be part of this, and with the Patriot Pack. For those of you just watching this for the first time and not familiar with us, we are the riders who, for one reason or another, decided at some point that we were going to ride across the country and raise money for some charities that were just about all from the imaging industry, from George's industry, and virtually all the OEMs have supported us in the past in one way or another. Some much more than others, but even those who haven't done as much. Everybody's been there for us, and it's been great. We ride across the country. We pick up checks from imaging dealers everywhere we go, and we're very happy to do it. And Jillian's on our mind. We're wearing her colors everywhere we go. It's been an honor to be a part of this. And we did have to push the ride this year because of the situation we're all in now with COVID. We were supposed to be leaving within a couple weeks to start. I've lost track how many this is for us. And unfortunately, we're going to push it back. Hopefully, it's looking like maybe we are going to do something in August. We'll revisit that. I know you guys, after we chatted with your chairman of your board, Bill McLaughlin, the other day, we're going to a virtual gala for you guys to hold that date on, I believe it's November 19th.
November 19th.
And we're going to reach more people and do something pretty incredible. But these are two big fundraisers that Jillian is counting on every year, and now they're maybe not taking the same level that they did, and so obviously that's going to impact you guys. What's the Jillian Fund been doing? Can you talk about how things have changed for you since COVID? You guys were critical before this, but I have to imagine now people are losing their jobs more than ever. 1 out of 6 Americans is out of work. I would think that this organization is even more important now than ever before. Can you talk about what's been going on in the last month or two?
Sure. Let me first give a shout out to everybody on our board. They're incredible people, and the ambassadors on our board are incredible people as well. They're just so dedicated. I kind of feel as though we've got the best marketing minds in the business, because they always figure out something, and that of course comes about with the leadership of the chairman of our board, Bill McLaughlin, who is so humble and taking credit for any part of this. But without Bill and his leadership, I don't think we would have half the connections or be able to do any of what we're doing today. So we're very thankful for him.
He's the one who got us involved with this.
Yeah.
I remember sitting in an airport. Having a conversation with him. I didn't even know him back then, several years ago at this point. And, he was telling me about this organization. I had no idea what it was. And, yeah, here we are.
He is my brother, and I love him to death. I'm going to get a lot of stuff for that, by the way. But also the rest of our board is incredible. We have some of the greatest finance minds, some of the greatest legal minds, as you know, and we have hired before COVID an executive director, Liz Campbell, who came from the Boys and Girls Club of New Jersey, and quite a resume, and just to get to that level. It opens up the doors towards a lot of other opportunities that we can take. So to answer your question, what have we done in the last couple of months? Well, let's start from this morning when I am the chief ambassador and am on a committee of people who review and approve the funding of some of these things to support our families. And mechanically, we review these families, and because there are 3 of us, we have all the background paperwork to look at the prognosis, the diagnosis, the the background of the family, the financial part of the family. I mean, it's like we have it all, and it takes all three of us to question and approve. So we just approved today, I believe, another $18,000 this month, and we do this month by month. So we approve, anywhere between 5 and 10 families every single month. I think the Jillian Fund has raised over $2 million so far. I'm pretty sure we're north of that, and we have helped over 180 families.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And during our conversations with the social workers today, as we were reviewing this, we talked about the 2 other additional gifts that we have come up with, $10,000 a piece in gift cards that we have given the latitude of our social workers to help those families that we help, right? And when you're a parent and you're going through this dramatic experience with your child, you're just so focused. You're like a train that's on the tracks, and you're thinking about nothing but what's the next thing that can help my child. You live hour by hour, day by day, and by giving them the ability to bring food home to their families, or give these gift cards to those outside of the hospital to bring home to their families, it gives such a sense of relief for that day. Now it's on to the next day. And they are so appreciative. We've done this twice in the last month. So it's $20,000 worth of gift cards that are all from, food vendors and things like that. So they are so appreciative. And that is money that is raised from the PAC, right? That's money that the PAC has contributed to the Jillian Fund from their ride to lessen the stress level of these parents. And I just can't tell you how much they appreciate it. They truly do. Now, what's really made it difficult in the last 2 months is some of our kids are COVID kids, right? So if a kid has COVID, the parent, one parent is there for the duration, right? Can't switch off parents. And if a kid has COVID, there's things that affect the procedures. So you can't put somebody under anesthesia that has COVID. So that, that prolongs the treatment, the bone marrow transplants, as well as some of the fluids that they have to take from the spine. So it complicates things. And our workers, our social workers that are on the front line, not only have to deal with the usual interaction between parents and these families. Some are functional, some are dysfunctional. Emotions are going all over the place. They're the glue that holds it together. They also have to be, dressed up like surgeons now before they do anything. And the way that once these kids are released because of COVID, and they have to come back to the clinic to get treatment, right? Which is a necessary part whenever a kid gets released. It's not like I broke my leg, I got it repaired, and that's it. There's a year's worth of coming back to the hospital. They now have to come back to the hospital twice. They have to come back to the hospital first to get checked for COVID. Then they have to go home. They get those results 24 hours later. Then they can come back to the clinic and get their treatments and see the doctor and see the nurses and find out what other prescriptions that they need to do and how the at-home treatments are working. So those are just some of the many things that have changed, and all the reason why we need to ask for as much support as we possibly can. And when it comes to the ride, when it comes to the gala, we'll have a plan B. I can promise you we'll have a plan B, and it will be exciting. We're already got those gears moving in our minds, and we know the time limit we have. So we're ahead of that, and we look forward to executing it.
Well, the gala is just an incredible event. I'm really sorry it's going to have to change the format this year, although maybe I'll remain a little less imbibed and won't wind up with a Maroon 5 guitar that I decided for some reason I needed to outbid everybody on one year. But it went to a good charity.
Yeah, and it's not just about having a good time, and it's not just about let's see how much money we can earn.
Yeah.
It's reaching out to the people whose hearts we've touched to let them know what they're doing, what they're giving, and what the impact of what they're doing is to the people that we support.
Well, and that's what was incredible about those galas to me, was that under one roof you had our world, you know, the imaging industry, and you'd have, I mean, people from every vendor would be there. Konica would buy tables, Konica Minolta and Ricoh and Sharp, and, you know, I'm going to leave them all out. Some
Isn't
of
that
them,
amazing?
they're all of them though. They were all there. Everybody you and I know was at that gala. And that was a third of the people there. And then there was another third of just local people that you know and you've contacted and met through the years. And then you've got that other third, which were people that we've helped through this charity. So it was just this incredible mix, hundreds of people. I mean, it was just I don't know, I've been to some pretty incredible events, but that one over the years, over the top, probably just the nicest charitable event I've ever been to. It's just incredible. And you do such a good job with it. I'm excited to see what Bill will do. I know him and Jenna and everybody else at that Steph and everybody else on the board. You know, they'll put their minds together, and I have no doubt that it's going to be incredible. You know, I'm looking forward to it. I am.
And we will deliver on coming up with something that everybody is going to be touched by the Jillian Fund. But you know, we also have to understand and relay and mix with our message that there's been, you know, 60,000 tragedies that have happened so far this year, and those are real people and they have families. And I certainly can identify the similarities of what those families are going through. So with total respect to all that is going on around us, we ask that our supporters help us get through this time, because we really need you.
We do. I agree. George, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me today. You know, I love you. I love what you do. And I'm so happy to be a part of this. If there's anything else that, you know, obviously we can do on our end, we're always here for you. Any last words for the viewers?
Hey, God bless you all. Thank you so much for what you've done for the Jillian Fund. I thank you. The board thanks you. The workers thank you. And the families we support thank you from the very, very bottom of our heart. And as I always say at the galas, you know, as long as this inspiration exists, Jillian and Zachary will be around us forever. And I look forward to meeting each and every one of you again as quickly as is possible and as is appropriate. Stay safe and stay well. God bless you.
Thank you, George. And we do have one happy hour coming this afternoon at 5 o'clock. If anybody is interested in seeing that, the last happy hour, they are sponsored happy hours. All the money goes to charity. The last happy hour actually was sponsored by our Patriot Pack brother, Raj Tadani of Mars International, and he sent a check over, or he is sending it. I don't know if it's gotten there. Him and Bill can work that out, but there is a check. And so, you know, we're doing what we can to contribute to charities like yours. So anything, you know, anybody wants to get in touch with George, contact me, or you can contact him directly if you have his information. But thanks again, George. And, you know, we'll talk very soon, and take care. God bless you.
God bless you. Goodbye.